What's up, everybody? We are jumping into a case I haven't really heard or seen much about. It is the Apple River stabbing case. That's what it's been called on other channels. A lot of you guys have sent me this. I've seen little clips from the case. I've seen some information about it. It's a self-defense case. The victim is Isaac Schumann. The defendant is Nikolai Mew. It's Wisconsin v. Nikolai Mew. And I'd seen the video a while back. I'd seen it on Twitter and stuff. And today, the person who filmed the video on his phone, I believe, testified, explains what happened that day. He's a 19-year-old college student, big dude, which the defense is going to point out on cross. I haven't listened to the whole thing again, but I've listened to clips of it. We're going to listen to the entire thing here together. It is going to show the video. We'll probably fast forward through the graphic parts. But I'm interested to think if you guys think this is self-defense. After hearing his testimony, we'll see if I think it's self-defense. And we'll watch the video together. We'll learn about this case. If you guys are interested in this case, or if you are interested in this trial, let me know in the comment section. Let me know by liking the video. If you have questions, go ahead and throw them in the comments or the live chat, and I'll try to get in there and answer as many as I can. All right, here we go.
Yes, sir. I had a few beers.
By the way, important programming note is the audio is terrible. And you basically can't hear any of the lawyer's questions, can barely hear them, but you can hear most of his answers. I'll be slowing it down and speeding it up kind of as we go throughout the video to get all of this in here in one video for us tonight.
Probably like 3 or 4.
Were you drinking any hard liquor at all?
Not that I recall.
Did you use any other substances?
Yes.
What kind of substance?
We smoked some marijuana.
Isaac Schumann smoked any marijuana?
No, he did not.
Again, they're getting the bad facts out early. The state on direct. They were drinking, they were smoking, they were hanging out, having a good time because, again, it's self-defense. And when you see kind of how this is set up, a bunch of young dudes around one guy, some kind of fight and punching ensues, and then the defendant stabs the victim. Is it self-defense? Was it warranted? Was he in reasonable fear for his life or serious bodily harm?
We've heard from other witnesses that you two are all connected together. Remember that?
Yes, sir.
At some point, we'll start that. Did you end up taking some video recordings of some things that happened on the river that day?
Yes, I did.
How did you take those recordings?
On my cell phone.
Did you specifically record interactions that your group had with Nikolai Mew, the defendant?
Yes, I did.
Are those recordings in 2 separate segments?
Yeah.
One short and one long?
Yes, sir.
We're going to play the short 5-second video.
Screen, I closed it.
Mr. Cockfield, is that the
Grown man trying to have sex with little girls. Who the
Mr. Cockfield, is that the first video that recorded Mr. Mew that day?
Yes, sir.
Is that your voice?
Yep.
At that point, were you sitting there too?
Yep.
Why did you start recording?
Because he was just kind of looking suspicious from what I was seeing.
Or was he? You saw in the video that he was standing away from your group. So yes.
Yeah.
Had he been closer at some point when you started the video recording?
Not during that recording, no.
Right.
Like the first one.
Okay. Did you hear yourself say he's a raper?
Yeah.
What was that all about?
He had said like a weird comment. That's kind of why I started recording in the first place. Like, because he was having his snorkel and it was like 2 feet deep water. So like, what are you doing? And then he just said like a weird comment, something about like some little girls. And then
Did you have the girls with you?
No, I did not have any girls in my group.
So again, is that hearsay? No. Statement made by the defendant makes him look pretty bad, makes him look like a creep. They're kind of setting this up. He is instigating as the defendant. They're not instigating as the victims. That's kind of what's being set, the groundwork here and the foundation for that.
The girls on the river here were you for?
Yeah, there were some girls on the river.
Show child age girls or
Not that I saw, no.
Did you know Mr. Mew at all?
No.
Did you know whether he was a pedophile or anything like that?
No, I didn't.
Were you making some conclusions based on what you saw him doing?
Yeah.
Sustained.
You know if he was a pedophile? That's not an appropriate question in my opinion, unless he is, and they can prove that, and it's going to come into evidence. But yeah, it was also a good question leading. He's definitely leading him.
After you said he was a raper, did he
The leading was you made that assumption based on what you saw or heard.
come closer to your group?
Yeah.
Did you restart your recording?
Yeah, because after I said that, I looked away. I was like, whoa, because he looks really scary when he looked at us. And then I refloated a little bit. And
You
then,
said he looked real scary.
when I said that, you could see his face look at me, and you could see me go oh, and I got scared and then stopped recording.
Did he appear angry? Did you
Yeah.
Objections to permission.
One at a time, please.
Objection sustained.
When you saw him look on his face, did you start recording again?
Yeah.
And the second video, was it how long after the first video?
Probably 10 seconds. We had just floated a little bit further.
That was the second part of the video here.
No, just keep it off. You have to tell us when you want us to play or display, rather. All right.
That's not good. What is he on? Whoa.
That bigger, older dude is the defendant. All the young dudes around are, the victims and their crew, basically.
Mr. Cockfield, is that the second video that you took that day?
Yes, sir.
Is that your leg in the screen?
Yeah, it is.
For the record, the video was paused at the 6-second mark. Do you see Mr. Mew's hand grabbing onto your tube there?
I do.
Is he touching your leg?
A little bit, yeah.
Did that cause you concern?
Most definitely.
Did he say anything when he came running up and grabbed onto your tube and by your leg there?
I guess I didn't hear him say anything specifically.
Do you recall who you were sitting next to?
So again, the defendant is making contact with the victims or the people with the victim as well. So again, who's initiating, who's causing the problems, all important in the story.
Yeah, I was sitting right next to Lennon Meyer.
As you can see, Mew's story here that Court TV puts up told police he was looking for a lost cell phone in the river when he was confronted by a group of rafters. That's what the defendant says happened.
Did you know whether he grabbed onto any of or made contact with any of Landon's body parts?
Yeah, definitely.
You saw that?
Yeah.
Once he grabbed onto your tubes and was touching your legs, what did you do?
I stood up.
Were you concerned that he was reaching out for you?
Yeah.
Were you able to get away?
Not really.
Did you stand up and walk away?
No, I didn't walk away.
Did you get out of your tube?
Yeah, I just stood up in my tube so I didn't float away.
Did he make any further physical contact with you after you were able to stand up?
No.
Did you know this person at all?
No.
Do you remember how long you've been on the river when he ran up there?
I guess I'd have to take an educated guess and say an hour.
Did you, when you first saw him, was he alone or was he with a group of people?
He was alone.
All right, did he ever indicate that he was with other folks?
No, not from what I saw.
The defendant was alone, which is also important because, again, there's a group that he's going to encounter.
Did you say anything to him at the time that he grabbed onto the...
Yeah, I was just saying, what were you doing?
Is that on the video?
Yes, sir.
Did you threaten him in any fashion?
I don't know.
Did you hear Schumann say anything to Mr. Mew?
No, that's weird.
Overruled.
Can you say that again?
Say anything to Mr. Mew at the time that he ran up and grabbed onto your tubes?
No.
Did you and others start yelling at him to get away?
Yeah.
Do you remember the kind of language you were using?
Yeah, we were just yelling, saying, what are you doing? Get out of here.
Were you calling him some names?
Yeah, calling him a pedophile.
Right, why were you calling him a pedophile?
Because he was running up on some kids. And he had said a weird comment earlier.
It's like we were just saying, get out of here, you pedophile. It's like, that's not, it's got to come in because that's what happened, but that's not great to put in front of a jury as the defendant.
Did grab onto your touch your part of your leg?
Yes, sir.
Objection, Inspector. Bleeding.
Sustained.
Fair to say you and your friends were making a commotion at that point?
Objection.
Yes, sir.
Sustained. I'm leaking.
Did somebody,
So he keeps trying to get the fact that he and his friends were making a commotion. What you have to say is, were you guys doing anything? And he says, we were saying this, saying that. Was it a commotion? I guess you got to just break it down, but he's putting the answer in his question. I appreciate the judge sustaining these. Some judges let it fly, but make the lawyer do his job. Don't let him give all the answers to the witness and just let the witness say yes.
Nelson, ever come over to see what was going on?
Yes.
You know those folks?
I did not.
Do you remember how many folks initially came over to look check in on you guys?
Not like an exact number, but it was probably like 6 people.
All right. The first 2 folks over, were they males or females?
First one was definitely a woman.
All right. Did you see the one speaking to Mr. Beal?
Yes.
She pulled him?
Yeah, she just told him like get away, like pointing and like get away.
Was that also recorded on the video?
Yes.
All right. So we're playing on the portion. Before that, I'm going to ask you, as you're recording this, were you using your cell phone?
Yeah.
Were you holding it close to your face or on arm's length?
I actually had it attached to my neck with like this, like there's like a tourist thing, kind of like you just put it in the pouch or whatever, and like it's attached to my neck. It probably go out like that far.
All right. Is it fair to say that your recording captured some things that you yourself didn't see at the time?
Yes.
Is it fair to say that you're recording, some of the things you recorded, you weren't looking in that direction?
Yeah.
All right.
He's admitting to calling the defendant a pedophile. We're going to hear all of this testimony. Don't worry, we're going to hit the pause button. We've got to hit a
Me in the jaw.
I didn't know that. I didn't know we
We
had
know the
personals.
occurs.
That's the defendant again. You start to see some young guys around now. I'll slow it down while we're watching the actual video. I'll skip the actual stabbing part of it, but here we go. They're laughing, saying, haha, you just lost your snorkel. Again, a lot of young guys around this individual older defendant. So again, just physically speaking, you can see how it's potentially possible the defendant starts to get in fear eventually.
Away from us. What? What's going on with y'all homie? He's on camera. Guys, let's tripping. He's on 4K. Yo, the new iPhone got that good quality. What did he say?
So a lot of this is bleeped out, and I don't know if the defense is going to want any of it played if they're, antagonizing him or instigating any trouble, but we'll see. But you can see there's a lot of young dudes around and just that one older guy. Some girls come over.
Little girl! You're looking for little girl? Yeah! That's exactly what he said. Weirding us out. I even have that part on camera. Did I? Some young ass kid. What the hell is this guy's problem, bro? We trying to have fun. He's gonna claim you? He's gonna claim you. We don't want this motherfucker.
Pause at 150.
So as you can see, they were all circled around him. I can understand why, he might be in fear. I think it jumped ahead a little where somebody hit him, but he could have walked away, it looks like there, but he didn't. It's a big question as well.
So is that essentially more the video you took that day?
Yes, sorry.
Is that your voice sort of narrating what's going on?
Yes. I guess kind of like for the greater good. It's like a new saying, I guess.
Sort of street slang?
Yeah. with my own eyes.
You've reviewed the video a few times? Yes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Are you aware now that your video shows him
Yes.
the knife?
Yes.
But you didn't see it at the time?
No.
Yeah, I think he's saying he didn't see the knife at the time, but now he sees it in the video.
Still frame judges number 2524. Just one ready. What is this still frame from your hands?
Yes.
What is it?
Looks like his knife.
No. Hold the knife, hold the knife.
No.
See the knife better. We'll
Look
take a look at it.
2533. Still picture from your video.
Yes.
What do you see in that still?
I see him holding his knife.
There, that's much
If
easier.
you had
So you can see he's clearly holding it there.
seen him while you're recording the video holding that knife, what would you have done?
Objection, speculation, irrelevant.
Sustained.
They ask, what would you have done? Objection sustained. Speculation.
At this point in the video, who's standing in front of Mr. Peter, if you remember?
I guess I don't really know her name, but her.
Men or women?
And again, he doesn't know everybody there because people kind of came over with all the commotion.
It's a woman.
All right. Was there one or two women standing in front of him?
There was two.
All right. At some point, did you see Mr. Neve do something in relation to one of those women?
Yes.
What did you see?
He punched her.
All right. Which one?
The defendant punches one of those women, again, instigating. Who started the fight? Who defended who? Did somebody stand in the shoes of that woman? And that's why the young guys jumped in and hit the defendant. These are all questions the jury's going to have to answer.
You remember?
I think it was the blonde one.
Did
Yes.
Sustained.
were you looking in a different direction than the camera was
On the camera was, yeah.
over toward your friends?
Yeah. I saw all of her friends kind of like start going towards him and I try to, I guess, fight him.
All right, and did the fight break out?
Yes.
Did you know any of the names of these folks?
No, I did not.
Did you see somebody strike Mr. Yu?
Yes.
Mr. Yu going on?
Yes.
Did you at any point touch him in any way?
No, not once.
No, in fact, did you touch him like earlier? You did not touch him.
No, I did not.
Everything unfortunately.
So you can clearly see, and I'll back it up so I can slow it down a little bit, but he gets punched / pushed in the water, the older guy, and a bunch of these kids are around him now at this point, laughing, screaming, pointing at him, talking at him. There's no doubt, in my opinion, he is in fear for serious bodily harm at that point. But then what happens? And again, if you don't want to see this part of the video, you can look away now. I'm going to fast forward through the gorier parts. So that if you don't watch closely, you can almost miss it. It just looks like he kind of punches somebody in the stomach. But later when you figure out, he actually has a knife in his hand. Right here, he just goes. I was right there, right after the punch. He stands up, basically confronts them. They didn't all jump on top of him. They didn't dogpile him. They didn't keep beating him and him stabbing him while they were all laying on top of him, beating him. It wasn't like that. They kind of backed up a little bit. He stood up and then he went at them. I think it's a tough self-defense argument, but I do think they have an argument at least to present to the jury, and the jury's going to have to decide, which is why at this point, knowing what you know, and again, this video is out there everywhere if you guys want to fill in the gaps we didn't show here, but let me know what you think. Do you think it's self-defense? Do you not? We're going to continue to listen to the rest of his testimony.
Sure. Sean, did you also record that portion?
Yes.
And as you watch it here today, you see Mr. New stabbing close to the knife.
Oh, yes.
The time you recorded that, did you know that was happening?
No.
Is that you laughing
And I
at the
can
background?
understand.
Yes.
First time I saw it, I was like, I didn't even see the stab.
At one point, did you say you hit a woman?
Yeah.
Was that a reaction to what you described earlier?
Yeah.
Did you eventually realize that people were getting hurt?
Yes.
Did you realize that Isaac Schumann had been stabbed?
Yes.
How did you know that?
I kind of just looked down the line of people that were hurt. I saw the first person, like, that's not my friend. That's not my friend. That's not my friend. And the last person I looked at was my guy, Isaac Camp.
As the fight's going on, did you see people bleeding?
Yes.
At some point, did you realize?
I'm going to skip ahead a little bit again because they show people like laying in the water basically with the injuries and like literally blood in the water you can see. We're going to skip another Court TV commercial, and he's obviously crying and broken up because his good buddy lost his life at the river.
No.
Did you did your way up to Isaac?
Yeah.
Were you able to see that he had been deported? Did you try to get some folks to help?
Yeah.
Eventually, some people stopped to help.
Yeah.
Was the nurse one of the people that stopped to help?
Okay. Yeah.
Sustained.
Did you know the folks stopped to help you?
No, I did not. No, I don't.
Did you see Isaac get transported? Did you speak to the officer? At some point, did you tell an officer to do a video of the incident?
Yes, I did.
And did you show that officer the video?
At the time, I just played it to the point where Mr. Mew was in it.
At some point, was the officer able to take a screenshot of a still from your video
Yes.
to show Mr. Mew?
Yes.
That approach.
Yes.
A still frame with Mew on it.
Is that the still frame that the officer, the still picture the officer took of your phone that day? Is that yes?
Yes.
I'll move for admission of 238.
The objection? Received.
Eventually, was Isaac transported to the hospital?
Yes.
Did you follow?
Yes.
Did you speak to another officer at the?
Yes, I did.
Did you tell an officer what happened?
Yes.
Did you see the person in court who you recorded that day who did this?
Yes, I do.
Why not see what you learned?
He's wearing navy and gray pants with some brown shoes.
Nothing further.
All right, now cross-examination. Again, they are trying to prove, even though defense doesn't have to prove things, right? But in this case, they are trying to prove that this was self-defense. So keep that in mind as now we're going to hear this cross-exam.
So, Mr. Hatfield, you are currently a two-sport college athlete, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You play football and you wrestle
Yes.
in college.
Yes.
What position in football do you play?
I play defensive end.
Defensive end.
Yes, sir.
Can I ask you, how big are you?
About 5'11", probably like 235.
5'11", 235 is what you said?
Yes, sir.
Not a little guy, plays defensive end and wrestles. So again, he's trying to create the atmosphere and environment that his client was walking into with these big young dudes that he's all by himself.
Is that what you wrestle at too?
Heavyweight, yes.
Back in 2022, about the same size?
I was a little bit smaller, yeah.
Wrestle at heavyweight stuff?
220 pounds, yeah, back then.
So you considered back in July of 2022, you considered yourself to be a fit young adult, right?
I guess I'd like to think that.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you some questions initially about the interview that you gave with officers. Okay.
Okay.
The interview that you gave with officers at the hospital, you indicated that Mr. Mew told you that he was looking for a snorkel. Is that right?
That is what I said.
Okay. You never mentioned to officers that that he told you anything about looking for little girls, correct?
If that's what it says.
Well, in a situation where you say he's looking for little girls, do you think it would be important that you would tell officers that he told you he was looking for little girls?
Yeah.
But you never do that, do you?
I guess I didn't.
Do you think it was important?
I guess there was more things that were more important, but that is important in the grand scheme, yes.
Right, so more important was he was looking for a snorkel.
Not really.
Okay, but you mentioned that, right? Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And can you say, if I have it right, you had 3 to 4 beers and were using marijuana?
Yes.
Okay. There was vodka that had been brought in by your group. True?
Yes.
In Tito's and in like water bottles.
Yes.
Okay. Did you have any of that?
No.
Okay. So just the 3 or 4 beers and some marijuana.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you also, I guess to your credit, tell the police you guys were antagonizing Mr. Mew, right?
After the fact that he hit the woman, yes, we were.
Well,
So he admitted to law enforcement that they were antagonizing Mr. Mew.
you don't consider calling him a raper antagonizing him?
I mean, based on what he was doing, and it looked like that really, like, that made him chase after us afterwards, so who knows what he was really doing.
My question to you is, do you believe telling him that he can't have sex with little girls and calling him a raper would be considered antagonizing?
Yes.
And you were the one who was saying that, right?
Yeah, but that's after he ran up on us and, like, was doing a bunch of weird stuff.
Seems pretty believable to me, honestly. Like, it's like kind of embarrassing to admit that you do stuff like that, but it's like, yeah, it's like we were smoking some weed, drinking some beers, antagonizing him. Sure. But that doesn't give him license to kill, literally.
Or, like, he looked weird, I guess I could say.
Okay, so
I'm saying that, yeah.
this, and you know he's alone, right?
From what I see, he looks alone.
Okay, so, and you know that he's, from what you see, he's kind of an older man,
Yes.
not very fit?
Yes.
Okay, so you see an older, not very fit man walking alone, and you start calling him names.
As I'm sitting on my tube, like, I'm saying, like, what are you doing with a snorkel in 2 feet water? And then he said something weird after that.
What business is it of yours on the river, what he's doing? He's not bothering you, right?
I mean, I was interacting with every single person we saw that day on the river.
Okay, so
Like, at least most people.
Joanne, my question remains, what business is it of yours to bother a man who's not bothering you?
I was just asking a question. What are you doing?
What are you doing? And he tells you, I'm looking for a snorkel.
At that point,
Yeah.
the snorkel was in his hand at that point.
Well, you tell the police that he told you he's looking for a snorkel. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. And you then say, grown man can't have sex with little girls.
Yeah, a lot's being bleeped, I think, for our benefit.
Information as to what this older man is doing.
Yeah. No.
Okay. And you say, after you call him a raper, he looks over at you, right? Yes?
Or yes.
Wouldn't you suspect somebody that you called a raper to kind of look over at you?
Objection, Your Honor. Sustained.
Are you surprised that he looked over at you?
At the time, yes.
When you were calling him names, you're surprised.
Oh boy, this crosses. And
In your phone. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's around your neck.
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell the jury how long is it?
It's not like that long. Like I said, I could probably pull my phone out that much, and it's around my neck the whole time.
So can I ask you, in terms of when you're holding it, about how, I know it's not up to your face, okay, but how far away from your face or your chest do you think it would be?
I guess I could say like 7 inches, 8 inches.
Okay, so you're not able to hold it like I'm right now, my arm is extended. You're not able to do that, right?
Not much.
Okay, so, and I won't get too close to you, but so you're holding it kind of like this.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you indicate to police in your interview, they say to you, are you calling him any names? And your response to the police is, there were a couple of us guys calling him a weirdo, right? You told the police that?
Yes.
Okay. You don't tell the police that you're actually calling him a pedophile initially and a raper.
I said on the thing that whatever else I said would be on the video. That's what I said.
Okay. And
Smart. He's not going to let him trip him up. He's like, yeah, I may have only said weirdo, but I said whatever else I called him on video. And he knows he's on video. So he's not going to be dumb enough to lie about what he was doing when he's on video.
you don't know what he's doing walking over by where you're at, right?
No.
Okay. So, a raper is saying he can't have sex with little girls. You're doing that to humiliate him, aren't you?
Not necessarily.
Well, what other reason would you be calling him names when you don't know anything about what's happening?
Just trying to figure out the situation.
So the way that you're trying to figure out what's happening is by calling a grown man names. Yes.
Yes.
And you are yelling at some point, get away from us.
Yes.
Right? Okay. And that's after he comes up to your group, right?
Yes.
And when he comes up to your group, you're holding your phone kind of like this, are you not?
Yes, I am.
Recording it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, okay. And he walks around your tubes and away from your group, does he not?
After engaging with us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to be happy. You wanted him to get away from you, and he is getting away from you, right?
Not much. I mean, we're just standing there, and like he barely walked past us at all, and like it pretty much in our path. We can't flow past him. He's in our path.
Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. He walks past you guys, and you guys continue to move toward him. Is that right?
Not necessarily. Move towards him.
Yeah. So
What do you mean by that?
if you're Mr. Mew,
Okay.
and at one point he turns his back to you guys, is that true? You saw that on the tape?
Yes.
Okay. So this person that you want to get away from you is walked away from where you're standing and turned his back to you. True?
Walked out of our path, like into our path from where we went from. We passed him, and then he ran up on us, and then went in front of us.
You and your group move toward him like I'm moving toward you, right?
No. Well, I mean, like the way you're describing it isn't necessarily how I would feel like we were doing it. Moving towards him, it's kind of just we were there. Yeah.
You were moving, your group was moving closer to where he was standing.
After he had moved completely up to us.
I understand. You want him to get away from you.
Uh-huh.
He's moved downriver a little bit, and your group is moving in his direction. True?
Yeah, the way the river goes. Yes, that is his direction.
Okay. And do you remember, Mr. Brian Nelson testified, Mr.
Okay.
Do you remember someone yelling on you in your group? You got 10 seconds.
I don't recall that personally.
Okay. So 38.
Somebody said you got 10 seconds. That could be taken as a threat, especially when he's getting punched and attacked by a bunch of people. So that could be a really important fact.
Okay.
What do you say?
Yeah, somebody definitely says you got 10 seconds.
Could you play it again? I'm not sure if I did. I'm sorry.
Good quality. What do you say?
No, I actually did not hear it. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. But you would agree at that point your group is moving in his direction, yes?
As the river would go, yes.
Right. You don't stop, but you're walking with your tubes in his direction. True?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. And you say shortly thereafter, you were asked this, you're yelling for the culture, right?
Yes.
And you were asked what that meant, and your response was something like for the greater good.
Yeah, along those lines.
What is the greater good of you recording that?
I mean, this guy was, like I said, ran up to our group as we were floating past him, and we were causing a scene. Like, what is this guy doing? Get away from us! And then people come over to help us. So that's for the culture, for the greater good.
At that point, had the people come up?
But when I said for the culture, that's when the people came up. So if that's not a point where, well, yeah.
Okay, and this is also.
I said it, yeah.
You try to talk one at a time. Okay.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. So this is something that you want to record, right? This incident, you want to record this, don't you?
I mean, not really sure what type of question that is.
Well, you don't stop. Hold on. You don't stop recording and try to figure out the situation. You just keep recording what's going on. True.
Yeah, I mean, why did I stop it? At that point, it looked like it was like a weird situation. I just recorded.
I'm sorry. You said it looked like a weird situation.
Yeah.
Okay. And at this point, You see Mr. Mew walk over to this blonde girl.
Yes.
He's cleared a path for you all to walk through, hasn't he?
Yes.
So you have to be excited. You wanted to get away from him. You said he was standing in your path. He's moved out of your path. So your group can just go right by. True?
I mean, that group came over to help us, so why would we just leave them?
I want you to listen to my question.
Can I hear it?
He moves over so your group can go past.
Is that why he moved over?
I'm not asking you that.
Okay.
I'm asking you, you said you were yelling for him to get away. You wanted him to get away.
Yes.
You said he was standing in your path, right?
Up next, this eyewitness continues being cross-examined.
Stabbing that the dude was wounded by the group. Prosecutors, the defense says that Mew was his group. The prosecution claims that Mew
TV's little synopsis here.
was the aggressor on the river back in July of 2022 when he approached Schumann's group. And all he had to do was walk away. State prosecutors, the defense says that Mew was taunted by the group, then surrounded by the group, and he stabbed the others in self-defense because he feared for his life. Let's go back into the courtroom now. Juwan Cockfield is on the stand. At the end of direct. Let's go back in. He is on cross-examination.
You have to be excited because your group now can go right by, right?
We could flow by, yes.
You could have floated by,
Yes.
but you didn't.
Yes.
You stayed,
Yes.
okay? And you stayed as this other group comes over,
Yes.
okay? And
I think this is a pretty good cross, by the way, because he's making the point that it's not like they tried to avoid the altercation. They antagonized him. They called him names. They pointed at him. They didn't leave. They actually went towards him. So what's he supposed to do when they surround him and start punching him and more people start coming? It's an argument. I mean, I want to know what you guys think. I really want to know what you guys think at this point. And if you want us to continue following the trial to see what the outcome is here.
you, on tape, yelled to this blonde, he's looking for little girls.
Yes.
You don't have that information.
He said that. I remember him saying that. So
He said that. Hold on. You don't have that on tape.
Okay. True. It was not on my video.
And you never told that to the police. True?
True.
Okay. When she comes over and you choose to
That's the first part. I did not find him very believable that he said he's looking for little girls, but it didn't happen to be on tape. And he didn't tell law enforcement that.
stay instead of actually moving on with your trip, you hear her yelling at him, right?
Yes.
Okay. And Ryan also described her as being in his face. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. So, and her name is Madison Cohen. Okay, just so you know. So you would agree that Madison Cohen is in Mr. Mew's face, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you would agree she appears to be angry, true?
Yes. Or concerned at least.
I'm sorry?
Concerned at least. Yes.
You don't tell her what's little girls, right?
Yes.
Okay. So instead of trying to explain the situation, you're just yelling at her, saying, this is what he said.
Yelling to her what the situation is, which would be considered explaining, kind of.
So what's the situation?
He said he was looking for little girls, so I told them, like, that's the main concern of the situation. And then he ran after us, so yeah.
And he ran after you, and instead of passing, you stay and tell her that, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, initially, it's the six of you and Mr. Mew. True?
Yes.
You'd agree when this other group comes over, now there's more people involved.
Yes.
Okay. And ultimately, an additional 5 people come over to assist.
Yes.
Okay. So now we're at least up to 11 or 12 people against Mr. Mew.
Okay. Yeah, right. True.
Okay. And during this entire interaction, up to the point we are right now where Ms. Cohen comes over, Mr. Mew's not saying anything aggressively to any of you, right? No. He's not physically doing anything to show his aggression toward you, right? No. Okay. And you're not afraid of him at that point, true?
Because of the people that came to help, I was not afraid of him.
Right.
So he admits he was not afraid of Mr. Mew. I mean, I probably wouldn't be either if I had 4 or 5 of my buddies plus 4 or 5 other people, 11 people total. It's just one guy there by himself. I'm probably not going to be afraid. Now, if I knew he had a knife, maybe I would be.
So strength in numbers, right?
You can say that.
So the more people that are coming over, is it fair to say, as the number of people increase, your fear level decreases? Is that fair?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
And now his argument's going to be the exact inverse for Mr. Mew. As the number of people increase, his fear increases. Really good cross-examination because the witness doesn't even know the points that the lawyer's picking up, I don't think. Now, or he's just being honest, which again is true. The more people that come to your aid, the less fear you have. The more people that come against you, the more people that come against you, the more fear you have.
And 11, 12, 13 against 1, you're feeling pretty comfortable at that point, right?
Yeah.
And you, when I say you guys, your group, the young Stillwater people, you begin to taunt him, don't you?
I don't even mind taunting.
Kind of get in a circle around him and all start pointing at him that he's a pedophile.
Object to the characterization of being in a circle around him. That's not the evidence.
I'll be up to the jury to decide. Objection overruled. It's cross-examination.
Right?
Can you say that again?
Sure. You guys form kind of a circle around him, are really close to him at that point.
So an improper objection by the prosecutor, basically saying, oh, he's improperly said the evidence. They weren't circled around him so that the witness would know. And the witness is like, can you say that again? Let me see if what you said was actually right.
Kind of a circle around him, are really close to him at that point, pointing like I'm pointing, gesturing, pointing at him, calling him a pedophile.
Yes.
Okay. And because the way your camera is situated, you're pretty close to him as well, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay. And the purpose of taunting him and calling him a pedophile and pointing at him in that situation is what?
Kind of just to let them know what he was doing.
You already let them know what he was doing.
Yeah, but I guess it was just still going on.
What was still going on?
What you just described.
Well, I know what you're doing.
Okay.
The question is, why are you doing it?
I guess I don't know. It was 2 years ago.
Were you doing it to taunt him and humiliate him?
Not necessarily.
So why are you doing it?
Sorry. I guess I don't necessarily know.
Any other explanation that you can think of as to why you would go around somebody pointing at him, taunting him, calling him names, other than to humiliate him?
I think his questions are building almost a better picture than the video shows, which again, I think there's an argument to be made in the video. Will it actually carry the day? I don't know. I want to know what you guys think before we hear what the jury thinks eventually at the end of this case. But I do think his questions are also building a picture that doesn't look great for his client that's by himself with 10, 11, 12, 13 people, antagonizing him, encircling around him, pointing in his face, humiliating him.
You had mentioned that he had punched the blonde girl in Mexico.
Yes.
Okay. You agree that's not on tape?
Yes.
Are you saying that you saw it though?
I did.
Okay. When you say that you saw him punch her, she's in his face, yes?
Yes.
Okay. And what happens if you know? What happens to her?
Like after he punched her?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Do you see how he punches her?
I kind of just see like a hand come over towards her face or at her face, and then I just see like the follow through because I didn't really see anything after that.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about that? And what I mean is, I don't want to mischaracterize what you're saying. Okay. Do you know which hand he uses?
No, I can't really think about which hand he used.
Okay. And when I think of a punch, maybe you and I think of it the same way. I think of a fist and somebody kind of putting their weight into it and punching somebody in the face. Is that how you think of it?
I think there's a bunch of ways to punch people.
Okay.
Actually,
How do you see it?
like a punch,
How do you see this punch?
just like kind of like a hook.
Okay, so you see him and you use your right arm, right?
Yeah.
In that situation. So do you believe that he uses his right arm and throws kind of a hook across?
I'm not sure which arm, but it kind of felt like I saw a hook. Yes, a hook.
A hook. Okay.
Not sure which arm, which is also interesting when, it's not on tape, but he says he sees it. I think there's other, evidence that he did punch somebody, but it's interesting.
You don't see her go down, do you?
No.
Okay. And at that point, you see this group of people attack Mr. New, right?
Yes.
You see him get punched.
So him punching a girl first and then people responding to defend her cannot really be his, fear. Oh, now he's a victim and now he can respond in self-defense. If you are the one initiating and starting the fight and people are responding in defense of the woman standing in her shoes. That's going to be tough to overcome if those are the facts.
In the face and fall backwards into the river.
Yes.
You think that's funny, right?
After he had hit a woman, I think he was sort of getting what he deserved, yes.
So you thought it was funny.
Funny, yes. I guess I was laughing.
Yeah. And in fact, you had moved up. You got your camera. You're kind of right up in his face with this now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. And as he's being attacked, you're laughing throughout that portion of the video, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay. When he gets pushed back in the water.
So, and it's also interesting, he thought he was getting what he deserved, which is the response to a physical act. So the defense may argue that, well, the guys that jumped him and were beating him up as an older guy by himself and 11 people jumping him, maybe they got what they deserved. Could be a bit of a touchy response thinking that a young person lost their life, but Scott, you're seeing some of the themes that they're developing in this main witness who was videoing the entire event.
You're still laughing after somebody had already been stabbed, right?
Yeah, I didn't see it.
But you're still laughing. True.
True.
And it's kind of hard to see when it all happens real time, but he's even laughing after that. He's laughing after a woman got punched too, because the guy got punched back. Interesting.
You agree that, from what you've seen, Mr. Mew doesn't stab anyone until he's attacked. True?
After he had punched the girl and then was attacked. Yes, then he starts stabbing people.
Okay. Before
There you go. It's a witness that's been prepped. After Mr. Mew was attacked, well, he punched the girl, then he was attacked. It's everybody's mindset is so important. Everybody's reasonable and objective and subjective feeling and thought and what they view and what they're feeling inside as far as fear and their reactions is all really important. Who started it, right? Isn't it so funny? It brings us back to when we're kids. It's like, who started it? How important is that in these legal cases?
that, would you agree the temperature kind of what's happening is going up and up and up?
Yeah.
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 Okay. More people are showing up.
Yeah.
She's getting in his face.
Yeah.
Right? It's feeling more volatile to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're feeling more.
Why is that important? That it's heating up, it's heating up, it's heating up, it's getting more and more volatile to show that a reasonable person would be in fear now at this point. It has ramped up all the way. Maybe he punched the woman and he was like, that's it, I'm done. And then they all jumped him. Well, he was done. He was starting to retreat. It was over. And then they started it. That's what the defense is trying to set up here, is that the Annie was getting pushed up, 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 and up. That's why he responded with lethal force, because it had been pushed too far and now he was afraid for his life.
Comfortable because of the numbers, right?
Yeah.
All right. So the end of the clip of one of the state's main witnesses. So let me know what you think after that. That's a big chunk of the state's case, how it's presented to the jury. This is evidence. This is the testimony. This is the video. Now, there's a lot more going on in this trial as well. So I want to know if you guys want me to break it down, pick some other highlights and clips and parts to see exactly how the state's proving this case, or how the defense is showing this was in fact self-defense. And we can do every couple days, we can update it. Again, it depends on your interest, because you guys, the subscribers, determine what we talk about on this channel. So if you're interested, hit the like button, make sure you subscribe, hit the reminder bell, and we'll do more videos if the subscribers want it, because that's what we do here. And if you want to know a little bit more about me, stick around for the intro. Until next time, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching another episode of The Lawyer You Know. If you enjoyed the episode, please hit the thumbs up and share with your friends who may be interested here on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok. And don't forget to check out the Lawyer You Know podcast, with new seasons dropping every quarter. If you have a case you want to talk to us about, if it's a personal injury case, wrongful death, catastrophic injury, car accident, or slip and fall case, please email us at lawyeryouknow@gmail.com. And of course, all these links I just mentioned are included in the description below on this episode and every episode. So until next time, this is Peter Tragos, The Lawyer You Know.